Look at this beautiful bald man. He is one of the strongest Mystic champions in the game. Absolute two-way threat on defense and offense in Battlegrounds. Beautiful champion created by DLL from Kabam and also YouTube. You guys might know him as Daddy Longlegs. Actually, I have a funny story about that. Would you like to hear it? Hey! All right, so story time. I'm at the Battle Realm Brawl in Vancouver, BC last year, and it's, I think, probably day 2 or 3 of the event, and we're all hanging out afterwards at some random bar, and I'm sitting down with DLL, who created this champion, the designer, developer who made this champion, and Vega and some other people. I forget. I think I had slid into Seaton's spot so he could get up and talk to Brian or something. Whatever. So I've had a couple drinks, of course, and we're talking about the game, as a bunch of nerds at a video game convention do. And I start talking to DLL about UI stuff, and then he stops me and says, "Do you think that I'm Kabam Zero? Because Kabam Zero does the UI stuff." And I quickly realized my mistake, and I'm like, no, yes, I totally did confuse the two of them. I'm sorry, they're both very tall, handsome white gentlemen. They look somewhat similar. But anyways, both good guys. It makes it even funnier, the fact that I introduced myself to Kabam Zero multiple times on the same night, again, because of a little bit of drinking. And, well, we were in a small room. There's a lot of drinking. We had a good time. Go to the Battle Room Brawl if you get a chance. Anyways, so sitting there and talking to Vega and DLL about this character. They can confirm, and saying how he's super, super awesome, but his, abilities read like a freaking essay or something, like a 5-paragraph essay, and I've never actually read all of his abilities. I just ranked him up, and he gets wins on defense and offense in Battlegrounds. And you could just visibly see DLL kind of recoil and shudder a little bit when I talked about his kit and how I'd never really read it and didn't whatever. And so I just always thought it'd be funny if, even though I've ranked this guy up, as a little bit of an ode to DLL, I made this video and I just ascended him without ever reading his abilities, and then read his abilities. So I have never legitimately read this guy's abilities. I started to one time and was just like, okay, I'm out of here. But maybe I'll figure out how to use him better after this. So yeah, there we go. He is ascended. He is as strong as you can make this champion, and I do not play him well or have any idea what the heck to do with him. So let's go and actually read his abilities now. Champion info. Look at him. He's got a nice health pool there. Good attack. I am running recoils right now. And he's Sig 200. I just took him to Sig 200 because Legacy one time told me I should take him and spot to Sig 200, so I did. I don't know what his abilities are. Let's read his abilities, though. He's a breaker of wills. Absorbing Man's Omnimorph form lasts 40% longer. That's great. I think. I don't know what his Omnimorph form does. When Absorbing Man consumes morph charges, he gains a non-stacking regeneration passive, healing 30.01% of his missing health over 12 seconds. As a defender, this effect also triggers when Absorbing Man enters or refreshes any form. Okay, that part I know from fighting. I remember that. Personal regeneration effects pause for 3 seconds when Absorbing Man is struck with true damage and are removed when a form is deactivated early. Okay, so that's why you heavy him, I think, to take him out of that form, right? Okay. I think. Abilities. Molecular duplication, always active. A fluid molecular structure grants Absorbing Man 20% crit resistance and immunity to armor break and armor shatter debuffs, but reduces his critical penetration by 20% flat. So critical penetration, that sounds kind of naughty. The amount of the opponent's armor, physical resistance, energy resistance that critical hits ignore. Wow, okay, I never even knew that. Learn something new every day. Omnimorph forms. Absorbing Man's special attacks transform into a powerful altered forms. He can only be in one form at a time, I knew that, and form changes cannot fail due to ability accuracy modification. Okay, didn't know that actually, but that makes sense. Absorbing Man starts each fight in his Black Uru form by default, but can use the pre-fight menu to change this default, which persists until changed again. Being struck by a heavy attack while recovering from a special attack deactivates the current form, which cannot be deactivated again in this way for 20 seconds. Okay, makes sense. Whenever a buff ends on the opponent or Absorbing Man is immune to a debuff, the Current form pauses for 3 seconds. Okay. I didn't know that about the buff part on the opponent, but okay, sure. Interrupting an opponent's basic attack with a light attack pauses the current form for 6 seconds, inflicts a 397.06 potency vulnerability passive, 15 seconds, max stacks 5. Yes. So if you want to be good at playing Absorbing Man, you should be good with light intercepts, which I'm not, which is part of why I've never bothered to read this and actually didn't use him or value him as highly as I should have from the start. Refined forms. If Absorbing Man would enter a form that is already active, he instead refines the form, refreshing its duration and granting additional benefits. Okay. I kind of knew about this. Yes, I understood it, basically. Personal burst damage. Personal burst of damage benefit from 300% of Absorbing Man's critical damage multiplier when he lands a critical hit and cannot have their ability accuracy modified. Okay. Special attacks are unblockable when he's in refined form. Okay. Blocking a hit reduces the opponent's ability power rate by 72% until Absorbing Man stops blocking. The power denied is transferred to Absorbing Man. You really? So he gets a tiny bit of power gain and slows down the opponent's by blocking. Okay, I didn't even realize that. Okay, interesting, man. And DLL, when he makes champion, he does a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of things going on with a lot of his champions. So. Morph charges. When Absorbing Man refreshes or changes forms, he gains morph charges equal to the remaining percentage of his previous form's base duration, max 600. Okay, I know you want those charges and they get 600 is good. I know that part. Whenever Absorbing Man is immune to Armor Break or Armor Shatter debuff, he gains 90 morph charges. That's great. Whenever performing a medium, light, medium combo with at least 150 morph charges or activating special attack and max charges consumes all charges to refine the current form and inflict one 30-second vulnerability passive with 2250 potency for every 150 charges consumed. Okay. So you want to, that's why you want a medium, light, medium combo with him when he's got 150 or more. And then you want to activate a special, hopefully at max charges. Okay. Heavy attacks. This attack gains 1840.91 critical rating if the opponent is stunned as first hit lands. That's, yeah, good. Okay. This attack instead gains 2025, or wait. There's no point in that, is there? 20,250 critical rating if the opponent is not stunned as the first hit lands. Wow. That is a large difference. So if you're heavy countering, you get a huge crit. I did not know that. So instead of parrying and then heavying and launching a special, it's better to like heavy counter, interrupt your special or interrupt your heavy, and then use your special? I did not know that at all. Okay. Interesting. Activating a special attack after the first hit lands applies this bonus critical rating to the entire special and grants 30 morph charges. Okay, cool. Big damage. Special attack 1. Enter Black Uru form for 10 seconds, granting the following benefits. Immunity to bleed and shock effects plus 90/20 physical resistance. So, if you're facing an opponent who does most of their damage as physical damage rather than energy damage, you want to be in Uru form. That makes sense. All attacks deal a burst of 967.6 physical damage. Okay, if you want to do physical damage too, because you have a champion who doesn't have, who has like high energy resistance but doesn't have big physical resistance, you would also want to be in Uru form. Okay. Refined, Absorbing Man can perform critical hits and trigger personal bursts of damage through the opponent's block. Yes, that is very annoying. Special attack 2. On activation, enter Magma form for 18 seconds, granting the following benefits. Gain immunity to all Incinerate, Cold Snap, and Frostbite effects for plus 9,000 energy resistance. All attacks deal energy damage instead of physical, as well as a burst of 967.6 energy damage. Refined, contact with the opponent inflicts an Incinerate passive, dealing 1693.3 energy damage over 1 second. Yeah, that one's just very nasty. And then special attack 3, gain indefinite cruelty passive, increasing critical damage rating by 11842. If a refined form is already active, gain a second cruelty passive, max stacks of 5. Activate the most recent form in its refined state. Pause it for 15 seconds. While the pause is active, Absorbing Man gains 9,000 critical rating. Okay, so that's just kind of like for longer fights, and it's okay if you get pushed to it because it's just going to do more damage, and that's a good thing. So, whew. Okay. We finally have read this giant treatise on how to use Absorbing Man. I think there's things in there that I actually learned. And okay. I finally feel like I kind of understand why I'm doing some of the things that the chat or people have told me to do in fights when I'm using this guy. And maybe like learning that I should try to heavy counter to get off that special before that. That's actually a big deal. Also that I'm going to be stealing a little bit of power and they're going to be gaining less power if I'm blocking to then, you know, try and bait that heavy out of them so I can counter it. That's a pretty big helpful deal. I don't need to be parrying. That's pretty darn good. That's good stuff to learn. So this was my kind of ode, is that the right word, to DLL? I don't even know. And yeah, I feel like I'm caught up. I'm ready for the next time that DLL makes a champion, I think. Wait, what now? He's already made multiple champions since Absorbing Man? He came out in 2023 and DLL has already made more. This is a DLL champ. It's not as bad, so I kind of know how vote. Wait. He's made more since then? Oh. Why? Why? No, of course I'm just kidding. DLL is awesome, makes great champions. You should go and subscribe to his channel. You should hang out in his chats. He's great about answering questions about the game as much as he can for being a Kabam employee and stuff. And he's obviously super duper knowledgeable, super nice guy. I hope I get to talk to him again sometime soon and see him at another Battle Realm Brawl event or something like that. I just always wanted to make this video because, I don't know, I honestly had never read his abilities and I thought it'd be kind of funny. And you know what? I would actually like to issue a challenge to DLL. DLL, if you're listening, you see this guy here? Well, we all know he sucks. But look at his abilities list. It's from years ago, obviously. But my challenge to you, make a champion that's as cool as one of the champions you've made. Kate Bishop, Absorbing Man, Serpent, Photon, any of those champions. Make a champion that's that cool, but make their ability list that short or close to it. See if you can do it. I challenge you, sir. I challenge you. I challenge the rest of you guys to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below what you thought of this video, what you think of the champions DLL has created. Go over to his channel, definitely subscribe. There's a link to his channel in the description of this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.